It's an exciting time to be in agriculture, and one of the most encouraging things I've been seeing is how many women have been stepping into the industry and really leading the way forward. We need more diversity of people, skills, and ideas to help agriculture continue to evolve. Whether it's introducing new technologies and innovation that are transforming the way we operate, or championing advancements towards an even more sustainable ag industry. There are so many women who are making a real difference in how we feed the world for the decades to come. And they're inspiring the next generation of girls to grow up and pursue their own unique careers in agriculture. On behalf of RBC, we are so proud to support women leading the way in agriculture.
I don't think that I ever made the conscious decision to pursue a career in the agriculture sector. I think that there was a few events that happened in my life that have kind of put me on this path. And obviously I love where I am today, but it was never me as a high school student looking forward and thinking that this would be a great area. If anything, I'm from a very small town, and agriculture was never proposed as the direction to go in. And so, I mean, really, I think there's two pieces that have really landed me where I am now. I think a big part of that, or the one piece of that, really is that I've just always really had a strong concern for our impact on the environment. And so that's one piece of it. And then the other piece, when I was in high school, my mom was dealing with breast cancer. And through that, we had the opportunity to, or I guess at that young age, I was exposed to a lot about nutrition and really kind of became either obsessed or really preoccupied with food at that time. But really from a standpoint of if this is good for me, and kind of really looking into like the science of eating lots of fruits and vegetables, or just including lots of plants in our diet. And I just became fascinated by that. And then I guess at some point, like those two areas merged.
So I grew up on a cash crop and finishing hog farm, and it was wonderful. I was able to explore the fields, the ditches, the forests around the farm. It really sparked my interest in agriculture and our natural world. On the farm, I learned about hard work and the reward of just working for yourself and your family. With that perspective, I knew I wanted a career in agriculture, which led me to the University of Guelph, and I'm still there, even today.
The sky's the limit. We have such opportunity to welcome young women into agriculture because there is such a diversity of roles. And we want to encourage young women to step forward and put their hand up and say, absolutely, I want to be in agriculture. You can travel, you can be in the lab, you can be out in the field, you can work with animals. There's so many different opportunities. So my position is to go for it.
I think a big piece is attracting more people into the industry. That's going to make a huge difference. And then, of course, the efficiencies that can be gained by adopting these technologies, and hopefully as they become more affordable, more farms are able to do that.
It excites me in a lot of ways in that it's going to change how accessible agriculture is and how we do things. I might be one of the few who also is a little bit concerned because I'm a little bit worried too to see the personal and the human aspect taken out of it, especially when it comes to working with our animals and dealing with animal husbandry and ethics and respect. So I think technology is going to do a lot of really good things. I'm excited to see what comes with that. But I also want to see more people aware and involved at the personal level as well.
Now pivoted to working in kind of assessing greenhouse gas data, and that's specifically working on an opportunity assessment for greenhouse gas reductions or carbon sequestration for agriculture in BC. And so primarily my work has been looking at where are the pools of emissions. Also, how good is that data? Are our estimates fairly confident, or do we need to maybe propose that some more science needs to happen? So that's one part of it. And then a major component that we've kind of shifted into now in the later stages of this project is kind of developing a tool so that we can assess management practices for kind of all of those different, again, trade-offs. So not only do we want to be implementing management practices that can reduce greenhouse gas emissions or sequester carbon, they also have either co-benefits, or I guess what I'm calling them now is like co-costs. And so how can we kind of optimize all of these areas, whether that's impacts to soil quality, air quality, water quality, farmers' bottom line, like cost of adoption, all of these different aspects. And so basically we're trying to develop the tool that you could then like basically push data through and have a ranking of coming up with some way where we can be, I guess, adopting practices at a scale that we can see change in a multitude of areas.
I mean, we're always at the home farm, we're always trying to improve on things. It was an old school operation when we took over. So there was kind of a few things that we had to change right away in order to make things pencil out, in terms of animal welfare, environmental, field fertility, things like that, mainly that, we're always kind of building on those and improving those. So that's, helping the sustainability of our own operation. In the wider scope of the industry, I mean, in my role at the AgriMart, we advise farmers across Nova Scotia and Newfoundland on their fertility and, crop protection plans. So that really all ties to sustainability at the end of the day. We want our farmers to be profitable and so that they're sustainable themselves, and that all spins off into the greater supply chain. We have to have food at the end of the day too, so it all kind of there's a lot of moving pieces to it, but sustainability certainly is at play with a lot of those levels. So, and then again, with young farmers, we try to offer a lot of different programs and resources and networking opportunities so that young farmers across the province can learn from each other. And sustainability again is a key piece in a lot of those things that we offer. So whether it's from succession planning advice to specific production advice, that's all kind of comes down to the sustainability of the farms in the province. So I think it's kind of a buzzword, sustainability. You hear it a lot. People like to throw it in. People like to hear that word, but when you look at what it really means, it is very important, and there's a lot of different aspects of it.
Ultimately, the whole basis of sustainability when it comes to agriculture is around people and finding the right people to fill jobs in agriculture. And really, people are the kind of catalyst behind creating sustainability, whether that means environmental improvements or economic improvements. So I think it's really a case of making sure that we're filling the many jobs that are out there with people that have the right skill sets and kind of critical thinking skills to be able to make really big changes and solve some of the really big and complex issues that agriculture has been faced with. We need to make sure that students all the way from kindergarten to grade 12 really understand agriculture and food and the ins and outs of it, how their food gets to their table, so that they have the ability to have these critical thinking skills and science-based decision making, so that they understand what modern agriculture is and they can help to shape the future of food.